All right, can someone explain to me what the difference is between playing football in a couple of weeks in September and around Thanksgiving? What's the difference? If you believe the narrative that's been put out there, there's supposed to be a second wave of COVID. It's supposed to combine with the flu. Everyone's going to get sick starting in October, November, December, the fall and winter. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm saying that's the narrative out there. That's what we've been told. So again, I ask, if that's the case, how does it make sense to play football later in the year? Why does it make sense to play around Thanksgiving and not in a couple of weeks, like the SEC is planning on doing? What's the difference? That's the question that I and many other people would love to ask the Big Ten, who recently came out and said that they're planning a restart around Thanksgiving. That's, of course, after the fact that they already canceled the season. They had a vote, although the vote was never official or recorded. Apparently it happened, though. And a lot of parents, to their credit, have been protesting, saying their kid wants to play. Can't they have the choice to suit up and go onto the field and take the risk, assuming they sign a waiver? That's what parents are saying right now. And it's become a big headline here in this country. Can the Big Ten play a season? So the compromise is, let's play later in the year. I don't like that. It doesn't make sense if the reason you canceled is because of COVID. If we're advocating for player safety, and you know me, I'm a huge advocate of player safety, especially knowing these are college kids who don't make any money, and they're being subjected to this virus, I'm the first person to talk to about player safety. So if we're prioritizing that, why would we play when the virus is supposed to be at its peak again? I mean, that makes no sense. Why would we have a season when it's supposed to be really bad? Why can't we play right now? Why can't we start when the SEC is starting? Why can't we contend for a national championship? See, I find it hard to believe that players want to play so badly without competing for a national championship. According to rumors out there, they're going to be competing for old-timing trophies like axes and barrels and other sorts of paraphernalia. Who would want to do that? Think about this for a second. Imagine this situation. Imagine you're a quarterback or any position that's supposed to go in round one of next year's draft. Would you play a season for no national championship and possibly hurt your draft status? I wouldn't. You can be a team guy, but in the end, you're trying to make it to the next level. There's no incentive to play the game if you're not going for the top prize. That's just the way it is. It's common sense. Why fight for a consolation prize and possibly ruin your career instead of go to the NFL? That's why this is such a tough sell, and I don't understand to this day why they just don't play when they're supposed to. Students are back on campus. Now, if you remember, we talked about this back in July and June when this first became an issue about college football and its fate. The rumor was back then that students would not be allowed back to campus. And if they weren't, why should football players go back? And that's a moral question. That's a decency question. And I get it. I sided with the football players in schools. There should not have been a season period if no students went back. Why would you force a certain sect of the population to come back, but not everybody? What it proves to me is that it's a money grab. right? We've said this before. Alabama profits immensely off football. If they told their students, don't come back, but their football players had to be there on a certain day, had to practice and play, that would have been a big issue. You're subjecting certain kids to the virus and not all of them. That was the assumption heading into the college season. People going back to school and football starting. That's what was supposed to happen. What did happen is everyone went back to campus for the most part. Everyone's getting sick now too, but the point is, everyone's back on campus. Some schools may try to pivot to online learning. Some already have, and that's fine. But the initial plans are still in place. So if everyone's back on campus, why can't we have football? Why does the Big Ten need to postpone athletics, postpone everything, if everyone's back? And people are getting sick by doing illicit things on their own, partying and all of that. So if that's happening, why can't we play? It's a great question. One that still hasn't been answered and probably won't be. The Big Ten made the wrong decision here. You do one of two things. You tell everybody, don't come back. Football players included, don't come back, no season, goodbye. Could have done that, and that would have been completely understandable. Or on the flip side, you say, everybody's back, and let's play football. Let's have athletics in the fall, since the entire populace is back on campus. That's a black and white issue. There's no gray area there. There shouldn't be. But right now, what they've decided to do is have all students back, but no football, no athletics. The SEC, to their credit, they are having athletic events. They are playing football with everyone back on campus. Now, from the get-go, is it right to have everyone back? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But if you have everyone back, you should play and you should practice and be ready to go. The Big Ten is the only conference in this situation. Others have already canceled, and some are still playing, and they have students on campus. It's one or the other. Now, some have said, and some have speculated, that this has to do with money. They want to charge kids for being on campus, and then send them back home when things get bad. That's wrong, but that's the society we live in. It's all about business. Colleges are business. I understand it. But if that's the case, you'd make a lot of money having games, having TV deals, having limited amounts of fans in the stands. So if this is a money issue, that also doesn't make sense. This whole process by the Big Ten has been extremely flawed. And I'm disappointed in them. I thought they would have done better. They are a historic part of college football in this country. And I am just shocked that the SEC can figure it out. Other conferences can figure it out, but the Big Ten can't yet. Help out your students. Stop prioritizing money from some people. Again, black and white. Either prioritize it from everybody and play college athletics, or prioritize it from no one, have no one on campus, and have no athletics. You see where I'm getting at here? There's so many inconsistencies with the Big Ten and their schools in general, football or not. Kids are on campus, they're paying money, they're going to be sent home, they're getting sick. But football can't play because it's too unsafe. Which is it? People just want to know. And now you come out with this sort of constellation plan of, oh, well, we'll start on Thanksgiving, we'll play. Too little, too late. We all see what's going on. We all know what you're doing. And no one appreciates it. Don't patronize people. Tell them the truth. And be consistent with your decision making. Don't flip back and forth. Be consistent. Tell us the truth. Don't tell us what we want to hear. I guarantee you this plan has no basis. There will be no Big Ten football around Thanksgiving because by then the virus will be back and no one's going to be playing again. So why devise a plan when you know it ain't going to work? It's a tough situation. I get it. We've never faced a pandemic like this. I understand. But you have to be consistent and you have to tell people the truth. If the truth is you're trying to prioritize money, then have football and have students back. If you're prioritizing safety, have no one on campus and have no football. You can't go back and forth. You can't do it. And by having a season around Thanksgiving, there's going to be no incentive to play. Even if they're able to play, there's no incentive. Guys who want to get drafted will definitely sit out. I would. Unless, you're on the edge and you need to play to be drafted. If I know I'm going to go first round, I will not play one snap. And that's what we're going to see happen here, just so you know. If the Big Ten starts around Thanksgiving, that is what's going to happen. This decision, this situation was completely bungled by the Big Ten. They should be ashamed of the way they handled themselves. And I would hope in years to come, they become more consistent and stop patronizing. If you have to make the tough call and have everyone leave, so be it. But don't do part of it. Don't have people be on campus, but no football. It makes no sense. Do what you need to do to set your priorities straight. But don't patronize people and have some random short season around Thanksgiving, because chances are there won't be any interest, no one will play, and there's no national championship involved. Because of those three factors, the Big Ten will fail if they decide to have a season in November. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.